Hello to all our esteemed viewers. I'm excited to have you here. It is always an honor to spend time with you. My heartfelt gratitude. For our new viewers, a very warm welcome to our channel's community. I also want to take a moment and acknowledge you for taking time to listen to something that could truly help you live a better life. Today, we are going to talk about a topic that we've all faced in life. Arguments. The noble art of winning an argument, where logic meets wit and sometimes where reality takes a vacation. Let me tell you a time when I initiated an argument knowing how it will end. It begins with Hawaii, one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth. I have traveled extensively around the world, visited more than 70 plus countries and hundreds of cities and towns, but Hawaii is one of those places which is very close to my heart. I am a foodie. I have tried the most weird combinations of food items and I have tasted almost most cuisines available. I have traveled to certain places just to eat the food specialty from that place. Italy is a country I love and have visited many times. I love Italy for the art, history, culture, and food. I have learned to make pizzas from Italy from some of the best local chefs there. And since the time I have eaten a pizza in Italy, it is very difficult for me to eat pizza anywhere else. One evening, I was having a great get together with some of my closest friends. And in that get together, I initiated an argument with a very dear friend of mine. I will call her Mel for this discussion. Mel loves Hawaiian pizza. You know the specialty about Hawaiian pizza? Is the pineapple toppings. The thought of pineapple on a pizza is something that I cannot tolerate. Mel and I got into an argument about pineapple on pizza versus no pineapple on pizza. While we were arguing, all our friends watching us having this most ridiculous, funny argument about this topic, they started really enjoying us, going in all kinds of directions about for this topic. We went far back as a couple of hundreds of years of culture, history, culinary art, little bit of philosophy and few other topics. And sensing that our argument was not getting us anywhere, one of our dear friends, he just stood up and he interrupted us. He said, "Wait a minute. I just realized that Mark Twain was right." We both looked up at him and said, "What?" And he said, Mark Twain once said, "Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference." And then he added with a chuckle, "Who cares when two smart women are arguing like fools? We seldom get to see such an event." And with that statement, everyone in the room started laughing. Both Mel and I laughed hard. We both hugged each other tightly and we realized that neither one of us was going to get anywhere with this argument. Neither one of us was going to win it. And neither one of us was going to convince the other about their opinion. I don't like pineapples on my pizzas, period. And Mel loves her Hawaiian pizza with lots of pineapple toppings on it. So neither one of us was going to change the other one's opinion. And a fun fact that I realized much later was that Hawaiian pizza was not invented in Hawaii. It was invented by a chef in Canada. WTF, huh? Well, our topic for today is not Hawaiian pizza. It is about arguments and the art of winning an argument. Argument skills have been in existence since humans started thinking and reasoning. Will you be surprised to know that numerous studies about argumentation began many centuries ago, since early philosophers started examining our human societies and tendencies to argue and reason. Today, the occurrences and practices of arguments is prevalent in every aspect of our lives. Legal procedures, scientific inquiries, politics, social studies, social media, etc. Do you know that there is actually a subject called the science of argumentation? As a result, argumentative practices are studied by professionals and researchers from multiple disciplines such as linguists, legal professionals, psychologists, cognitive scientists, computer scientists, political scientists, and others. However, the formal study of argumentation began only after early philosophers started examining our human tendency to argue and reason. In recent years, there has been an increase in the research of argumentation. Today, the practice of argumentation is prevalent in every field of our lives. There are 256 forms of arguments, and there are about 21 to 25 known types of arguments. Arguments or arguing is an attempt to change another person's behavior, opinion, or goals when the other person's goals conflict with our goals. Conflict in relationships is inevitable because people's goals can never be in complete alignment, and how people use moral arguments to persuade others to put their interests above others. In every equation of relationship, there can be arguments, a parent child, between siblings, friends, workplaces, and the most well known one, the arguments with spouses or committed partners, or the infamous arguments between the mother in law and the daughter in law. Arguments dipped in facts, respect, logic, rationality, dialogue, using relevant forms and decent tone of voice is healthy. And it should be in a debate form where both sides are able to place their sides of opinions without interruption or talking over each other. Argue with me is an approach which was created by Khan, is used as a strategy to help students develop argument skills and also other communication skills such as dialogue, engagement, and writing. These techniques are used to help children become self-regulated learners by providing them with a sense of control over what they have to learn and do. This also enhances their metacognitive skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, and collaborative decision making. Productive arguments is a learned and acquired skills. In the United States, debate competitions are very popular in schools, which are primarily focused on the skills that I just mentioned. Constructive resolution of disagreements can take place only when people are calm, respectful, and oriented towards working together towards a solution that is acceptable by everyone. Today in this video, let's address the difficult arguments, the gaslighting arguments, the arguments that are initiated with the intention to trigger, to escalate, to invoke emotional outbursts or hurt or evoke an aggressive reaction. The most common category of such toxic arguments are done by those who are trying to do coercive control. Coercive control is an act or a pattern of acts of assault, threats, humiliation, intimidation, belittling, or abuse, bullying that is used to harm, punish, or frighten their victim. Coercive and controlling behavior is at the heart of domestic abuse. Arguments laced with coercive control is primarily seen in acts of bullying, harassment, domestic abuse relationships, etc. Sometimes you can see this in workplaces. Social media, you will see this in power-related struggles or tug-of-wars related to ego, envy, jealousy, enmity, and related issues. I'm going to label these kind of arguments as toxic arguments. It is wrong to try to force people to support your goals while ignoring their own interests. It is a losing proposition. Such arguments they tend to involve emotional outbursts, yelling, sometimes violence, and all of which are destructive to relationships, destructive to your health, destructive for your reputation, destructive for your own peace of mind. Because this kind of argument is not productive. Let's address how to handle these toxic arguments, which could be around handling belittlement, gaslighting, fake apologies, toxic behavior, and difficult conversations, sometimes unproductive, provoking arguments, and coercive controls. Many face such situations in marriages, relationships. It might be an ex spouse with whom you have had not an amicable breakup, and you have to deal with them because of the kids. Maybe it is your jealous mother in law who wants to control everything in your life. She pokes her nose in everything in your business, or a sister in law or a brother in law who are troublemaking people. Maybe you have coworker who is constantly trying to provoke you, or you have a boss who has a giant ego, who might be narcissistic or egocentric or a toxic person. And these people are experts in stinging, worse than a bee. They are experts in giving you a zinger. All of it is aimed at hurting you, humiliating you, belittling you, making you feel bad, bullying you, or trying to enforce their control. The tips I will give you comes from my experiences in the business world, corporate world, extensive traveling, education, knowledge, reading, and deep understanding of psychology and behavioral sciences. All of which has helped me understand these toxic arguments and the difficult people who instigate and engage in such acts. Tip number 1. This is a powerful weapon, but it is a very difficult one for you to practice until and unless you practice it with an acquired discipline and understanding. The art to keep calm. If you feel you are getting triggered or provoked, in that very moment, practice not to react. Buy a few seconds for yourself by calmly repeating back what the toxic instigator has just said to you. And repeat it back with a question. Is this what you said? And say it in a calm way. Those who are not trying to intentionally provoke you, when they hear what you just did, they will be taken aback with the way you calmly handled it. They will realize that they made a mistake and will immediately apologize and will retract from it. It helps diffuse the situation. But for those who were intentionally trying to provoke you, will agree with what they said and they will wait for a reaction from you, which is exactly what you should not give them in that moment. Because if you give them a reaction, it's going to fuel them and they will start enjoying it. It will give them what they were looking for, exactly what they need, the reaction, an agitated reaction, a complex emotional outburst, a reaction that has riled your emotions. So practice this. Do not give them a reaction. You should respond only if you're ready to make a response in that moment. If you're not ready for a response, tell them you will get back to them later and try to distance yourself from that situation physically. In my previous videos, I have talked about how to deal with toxic people. In that, I talk extensively about reaction versus response. Tip number 2. In that moment when somebody is trying to initiate a toxic argument with you, try to analyze if they are actually trying to do this purposely, or is it their way of trying to seek your attention. In that moment, rather than react, say things like, well, let's talk about it. I would like to understand this better. I am here. I would like to change that, or try to find ways where you can diffuse and resolve the matter. By saying these things in a calm way, you will slow the pace of the conversation. The person who came at you agitated, irritated, aggressive, with an intention to provoke you will watch your calm demeanor, and they will take the opportunity to have a conversation with you rather than argue. The key is slow the pace of your conversation in a calm way. Your ability to calm down an agitated, angry person is the power you take back control in that moment. It is more powerful than engaging back in a provoked, agitated, angry manner. Two yelling people have never resolved any issue in this world. And neither has the outcome of that ever made either one of them happy or made them successful. Tip number 3. Sometimes we have to understand that a toxic argument initiated might be a result of something else, some other underlying issue. It could be a ripple effect of what they are experiencing, a bad day at work, or a bad beginning of their morning, or they are struggling with something personal in their life. It could be related to their health or some other emotion that they are not able to understand how to handle. If you sense this, respond with calmness. Be kind to them and ask them if you can help them, followed by a gentle way of saying, "Are you okay? Is there anything I can do to make this better for you?" In most cases, you will see that the person will immediately realize their mistake. They will apologize and back off, or they will open up and tell you what they're experiencing. This happens a lot with teenage kids or spouse or partner at home. These relationships that matter to you, they might be having a difficult time, and by lashing out at you, they might be trying to seek your attention or some affection, some kindness, or just a simple hug and a validation of your love and care for them. This is where you have to keep your ego in check. This is where you have to find the balance of understanding if this is a misuse of your relationship. Are they trying to control you, or is it a genuine situation? De escalation is a powerful tool. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in the stress of our day to day lives, and we forget that our words and energy have tremendous power, and we give it away to other people, sometimes unknowingly. And particularly when somebody is a toxic person or they're a difficult personality, and the moment you realize they are starting a toxic argument with you, everything within you, it initiates that fight or flight mode within you. You want to fight back, you want to argue back, you want to hurt them equally, you want to start preparing for that combat. And in that moment, you feel that if you don't do this, they will look more powerful or they will win if you don't react. But that is exactly what you should not do. That is an emotionally immature way of handling it. The real power is with you if you're able to de escalate the situation. A tool that is emotionally stable, emotionally mature people use to tackle the situation. That is the true power. That is the power you want. That is the control that you need. Sometimes a simple statement like, "I agree with you, I could have done this better," you will notice that the hot gas releases from that toxic person's argument. They don't have a comeback at you. This does not make you look weak in any way. You always have a chance to respond back, a response which is controlled, calm, and with words that you choose to say. Sometimes also there is this timing element to it, because often toxic arguments, people try to initiate it when you're not ready for it. They'll try to push a conversation on you when you are not expecting it. The time when they pick to start an argument, you may be taken by surprise. In that moment, you should excuse yourself politely and tell them you will talk to them later, or give them a time when it works for both of you to get back to resolving that issue. When you sense that someone is instigating you or triggering you or threatening you for an argument, it is a trap. They are laying a trap for you. Don't fall for it. Our first instinct is to react, to get defensive. This will set you up 2 steps behind, even before the argument has started. At workplace, if someone says to you, "Hey, do you have 5 minutes for a quick conversation?" Unless this person is of power or your boss, and if you feel this person is coming at you with a potential toxic argument, you need to push back and tell them you will get back to them soon. Or ask them if it is urgent issue and cannot wait. It is an example of someone trying to push their convenience of timing on you. Tip number 4. Evaluate if this argument is worth your time and what is the end goal of it. What are you going to achieve by engaging in it? If this is about stoking your ego or just trying to make you feel good about it, think twice about it. An emotionally intelligent, emotionally stable, and sensible person will not engage in such conversations. Okay, that pineapple argument that I had, it was not a toxic argument. It was an unproductive one. If you have a partner who is a control freak, abusive, or has control issues, who constantly gaslights you, it is difficult situation to be in. Coercive and controlling behavior is at the heart of domestic abuse. Let's define gaslighting. Gaslighting is used by someone, they try to manipulate you using psychological methods, trying to question your truth, your reality, or sanity. With their power of reasoning, they are trying to make you feel like what you think or believe is your truth is not correct. Such people, they twist facts. They will try to make you believe in what they want you to believe in, even though that may not be the real or it may not be the truth. Arguing with such people rationally, logically, or in a decent way doesn't matter. They are not capable to handle or come to any consensus or have any healthy arguments because it's all about their control issues. It's all about them wanting to enjoy the process of a toxic argument where they enjoy watching somebody feeling hurt, belittling somebody, abusing somebody, or bullying somebody. If you're stuck in a situation like this at a workplace or in personal situations, do not escalate it. Escalating it is not a good thing. Many of these people, they can get violent because they have underlying anger issues, psychological issues. And it can be fatal at times. Best thing to do is to de-escalate the situation in a calm manner. Similar in a situation with those who have addictive habits or who are under the influence of any substance, it's best not to respond to these people. The best response is silence. Otherwise, you will be in an endless argument of I said this, you did this, I did not mean that. This will continue in an infinite loop and you will be trapped in it. Tip number 5. Sometimes it's good to directly ask them what their intention was when they are triggering their that argument, and say it in a very calm, collected way. Are you trying to say this to belittle me? Are you trying to say this to insult me? Does that make you feel good? Good. Now let's move on. An example of this is when you're at a social party or an event and somebody says, "Oh, Mrs. Malhotra, looks like you've lost a lot of kilos. Very good. I'm so happy that you look lighter and better." That was not a compliment. It was something that they are trying to say to insult you. In that moment, you should say to them, "Were you trying to say that to insult me?" In that very moment, you will see a knee-jerk reaction from them. Well, they'll say, "Oh, no, 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 I am actually very happy for you." You never say thank you to that because it was never a compliment. You just do a head nod and move on to the next person in the party. When you bring out the truth of their intention out on their face, it will surprise them. They will have no escape from that. So what they're saying might be different, but their intention is to hurt you, to embarrass you, to belittle you, or sometimes to even bully you. Just tell them that that is what you feel. And where will they run from that when you say that? Because that is the truth. That is exactly what they did, right? It's the mirror. Yes, it is. That takes away the power of their insult. It takes away all the fun out of it for them. It takes away their oxygen. And they realize that they're not going to be able to control you. They will not get the reaction that they were hoping to get from you. Holy cow. Tip number 6, the power of silence. When someone is being disrespectful, abusive, or in full throttle of a toxic argument, you don't react. You don't say anything for 10 to 15 seconds. Be silent. Crickets. No reaction on your face. In those 15 seconds of silence, it will prick them like 1,000 thorns. They are waiting for a reaction from you. They want to see you agitated, but they lose their control in that 15 seconds of silence. They just look at you where you're sitting there with a poker face and silent. You are clearly letting them know that you will not stoop low to that level. It is beneath your standards, it is beneath your character, and sometimes say it in a calm way. That's below my standard to response. And then all of a sudden, they feel like the control and the power has been flipped. Sometimes it's as simple as that. All of a sudden, you are now making it clear that what you just said was beneath me. And I don't respond to things that are beneath me in any way. And so now you're taking the control of it. Walk away. Distance yourself from that person. The power of silence is such that it can never be misquoted. There are no two sides to truth when you're silent. Silence is just silent and powerful. People ask me sometimes, how do I deal with such situations? I use the power of breathing. I take in a breath, count to 5 to 4 seconds, and then let it out while the person is trying to invite me into their argument. My focus is on my breath and I'm thinking about how I will respond, not react. Should I respond or should I give them the silent treatment? I'm thinking, should I accept this invitation to argue? Is this toxic argument or a healthy argument? I will engage in this conversation when I believe it is worth my time and effort for this conversation. You don't get to steal my time or my energy without my approval. You don't have to attend any argument that you don't want to. And so, knowing this, I always have the ability to say no. I can politely decline that invitation to engage in an argument that I don't want to be engaged in. I don't have to participate in any argument that I don't want to. Your strength is in your confidence and your ability to keep control of that situation. And whenever anyone has tried to gaslight me and challenge my truth, my favorite statement is, I remember things differently. Period. Gaslighters, they want to take you everywhere except the truth. You have two ways to address this. You prove your truth by facts and logic, or you just let them know that your truth is different than what they are trying to convince you. That often will do everything that they don't want you to do because it's not giving them the power. You feel like just because they dug a hole, you have to fill it. It's just like you let them dig their own hole, let them fall into it, and then you watch them bury themselves. Few recommendations to better your argument skills. Do not react, respond. Choose your words carefully. As our emotions are high during arguments, it is important to be very self aware and make sure that your emotions are under control. Choose your words carefully, communicate, and you know what? Don't make any sharp or painful comments, or don't use any heavy language like name calling, cursing, threatening, comparing, etc. Have clarity and reflection. Clearly define and state your feelings and reflect upon your emotions, thoughts, and feelings and that of the other person. Sometimes ask open ended questions to understand the other person's feeling. In cases where you cannot overtly understand what is the cause of this invitation for an argument, paraphrase the statements and repeat it back to them and ask them if that is what they meant. Is that what they're trying to say? Sometimes that helps de-escalate the situation. Be calm. That is critical whenever you're in an argument. Sometimes it's good to listen, and listening is a skill, and compassion and trying to resolve a conflict is more important than trying to be correct or right or trying to prove yourself. Give others the same equal amount of time to speak and pay full attention to what they are putting their what the points they're trying to put forward, instead of trying to think about an answer or trying to get ahead of them. Don't try to point fingers. Instead, ask for questions or requests, or try to, uh, you know, find a resolution. Engage in arguments with people who have emotional intelligence and emotional stability. And engage with arguments with people who want to solve the situation, or who want to come to a decision making on an amicable level. Do it calmly and respectfully. Try to find out what their point of view is. One of the most critical things while engaging in an argument is to not always try to prove your point. Try to understand that other person's perspective. Keep yourself open to multiple perspectives. Be considerate. In conclusion, the power and control of participating to an argument, whether it is toxic or not, is in your hands. It is completely under your control. It is your choice, your decision, your time and energy. Is it worth it? Before I conclude, I want to tell you I sent Mel surprise delivery of Hawaiian pizzas with no pineapple toppings. And guess what Mel does? She sends me surprise Hawaiian pizzas with extra toppings of pineapple from the best pizza places around us. And with that, I would like to conclude this video by chanting my favorite mantra. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. The translation of which means, may all living beings on our planet Earth be happy and free. And with that beautiful thought, I bid you farewell. Goodbye and thank you. Here is a link to one of our other videos that I believe you will enjoy to watch. Please continue to watch our videos and gain insights to better the quality of your life.